And one of the areas that we should really be focusing on is the child in the womb, the beauty of life. And I say this because next Sunday I'm setting a time aside to pray for the forthcoming referendum in Ireland. Because at this moment in time, Ireland and Chile are the two countries where the child in the womb has rights, total rights. And the referendum is trying to take that right away. Now, I'd just like to bear with me, I would just like to play a wee clip for you. This is a doctor in Ireland who a few years ago spoke this about abortion.
In countries with very liberal laws, like Britain, for example, not only do they end the life of the unborn, they also put women at risk because women can die as a result of terminations, can be injured as a result of them, or even lose their fertility. So,
I'll just play that again.
In countries with very liberal laws, like Britain, for example, not only do they end the life of the unborn, they also put women at risk because women can die as a result of terminations, can be injured as a result of them, or even lose their fertility. So,
now, that's a very well-known doctor in Ireland, and that's only a few years ago. And the reason I play that is that doctor is now the Taoiseach, the Prime Minister, who is asking everybody in Ireland to vote to change the Constitution so that abortion can be allowed. That's some turnabout, isn't it, for somebody who a few years ago was speaking about the dangers of abortion. So I believe that the child in the womb needs to have a voice, and that voice is our voice. And it's interesting to see that some places are realising the horror of abortion. For example, Iowa, the state in America, has now signed into law that a child cannot be aborted once the heartbeat can be heard. Of course, the pro-choice will try to challenge that in the courts. But it's a whole area that's sad. We as a parish show tremendous love and concern, and rightly so, for children who are starving. We do so through Mary's Meals, through SCIAF, through other charities. But of course, the child in the womb cannot be seen and is the most vulnerable of all. So I would hope that next Sunday that you would make an effort to join me in the Holy Hour, where we have adoration from 3 o'clock to 5 and a Holy Hour from 4 to 5, which will be conducted by Father Michael Kane. So I'm hoping that you'll come out and pray for that intention. Bishop Brennan of Ferns Diocese, who was here for the 125th anniversary of the parish, a classmate of mine, he has written a very good pastoral letter to the people of the diocese. I've taken extracts from it and made them available. I think it's well worth reading, and copies are available in the porch as you leave. They won't be handed out, but they're on both sides of the porch, and I would ask you please to take some. You know, we just think of the child as being the victim, but the mother is often a bigger victim because they have to live with the guilt of what they have done. And I would say to any mother here who maybe unfortunately has had an abortion, please bring it to the Lord for forgiveness. Please don't be afraid to come and to ask God's forgiveness and ask God's healing. You won't be judged, but you will be forgiven. And it's an area that many, many women suffer tremendous heartbreak from in later life. So Ireland has changed a lot in the last few years. The Church in Scotland, the Catholic Church in Scotland, owes a lot to Ireland. Many of you are of Irish descent. You will remember that most of the priests were from Ireland. And it has got to the stage now where they're being criticised for teaching the Catholic Church, the Catholic teaching, and one parish has put a notice on the door saying, please be aware that as you enter here, it's Catholic teaching that you will hear. It's sad that it's just come to that. So I would hope that your conscience will tell you to come along and join us next week. I remember when Mary Dugan and Connie, the two midwives, lost the case in the Supreme Court, and they were here when they got the news, and I remember saying to them, you know, you've lost the battle, but you haven't lost the war. And Mary has been all over the world since talking about conscience and the need for conscience to be respected in law. This very weekend she's been down in London and has been interviewed by the BBC. So it is a whole area that's been brought to the front, but we must, as Catholics, because I don't think we can really say that we are Catholic and support abortion. It's a contradiction in terms, totally. So please take it serious and please pray for the forthcoming referendum.